So, you've just spawned into a fresh round of Project Zomboid. Life is good, you've got your frying pan, maybe a leather jacket, and you're ready to rock. But then you start fighting a handful of Zeds, and bam! Suddenly your pan breaks, and then before you know it, you're exhausted, and the Zeds won't go down anymore. Stick around, and soon after, you're dead. Weapon breaks are deadly if you're not prepared for them, and getting exhausted gives you a minimum penalty of 50% to your damage output. So today, I've used my Zomboid simulator program to find us the best weapons to use at level 0 that will let us avoid both of these problems. This video is for those of you who would like to take on big crowds, or those who like to be prepared just in case. If you want to sneak around jaw stabbing and running from every fight, this video is not for you. If you just want to sit back and watch Kentucky burn, this video is also not for you. And if you already saw my last simulation video about smashing up hordes in melee combat, stick around because I tweaked the simulator today, and I'll tell you about those updates at the end of this. Alright, still here? Good. Here's the situation. I'm going to run a simulation for each weapon in the game that tells us how well a default starting character will do in a horde fight. Then I'm going to do that another 999 times. From these 1000 tests, I'm going to give you the top 10 best weapons for most melee kills before breaking and before exhaustion at level 0, so you will know the most reliable starting weapons in the game. Now, really quick, here's what I mean by starting character. Today, we'll call our simulated character Charlotte. Default stats for Charlotte means we're talking 5 strength and 5 fitness. We're talking 0 skill in maintenance and 0 skill in every weapon type. So she's up against a horde. We're not going to have any jaw stabs, no animation locking spear crits, and no other tactical stuff like attacking from behind or attacking fallen Zeds. Finally, a twist of realism in today's simulation. We're also going to assume that Charlotte has 2 levels of panic the whole time, because this is her first horde fight in the Zombocalypse, and that's going to be pretty scary. This will reduce her damage by 0.1 per panic level, and it will reduce her crit chance by 1.3 per panic level. Lastly, if you do not fully charge your weapon for 2 seconds before attacking, just hold down right mouse button, then you will reduce your weapon crit chance by 20%. Since Charlotte is up against a horde, we're going to say that she can only fully charge up her crits about 10% of the time. Now, just before we get into the results, my little test here, I have to recommend a video to you to explain the simulation in depth. There are some major topics we're simulating today, such as Project Zomboid's close range penalty, the combo attack multiplier, endurance cost or stamina cost of weapons, and the katana effect. So if you don't know those topics, I strongly recommend you take a look at my endurance simulation video where I give you some explanation and some visuals for those topics. I'll link that video here now and again at the end later for you. Finally, if you've never seen my channel before, welcome, I'm Traumanaut. My channel right now is all Zomboid all the time with some close looks at different aspects of the game, and I'm currently on a mission to reach 1,000 subscribers by September 1st. So if you want to help this video, if you want to help me, drop a like here and a comment somewhere along the way, and subscribe if you want to see more content like this. Also, stick around to the end of this video for a sneak peek at my next video if this one leaves you with some questions. Alright, so let's get started right about now. So, for some perspective to set us up, the average number of kills from all practical weapons is about 15 dead Zeds. So, pretty high above that, we have the hand axe, coming in last place, spot number 10 here with 26 kills before breaking. Not bad, but you might want to level up maintenance a bit before you start maining on this one. Number 9 then, let's see, with 28 kills, we have a 2-way tie between the hammer and the ball-peen hammer. Both of these weapons will probably break before they exhaust you, if you're landing your hits well. So if you find yourself getting exhausted with these, check out my previous video on how to save on your endurance costs. Next up, we have the number 8 spot, another 2-way tie with 29 kills. We have the baseball bat with nails and the regular axe. 2 crowd favorites here, I'm sure. So the axe is going to exhaust you 3 or 4 times before it breaks, whereas the bat's breaking point and exhaustion point are actually very similar, but it should break first if you're fighting efficiently. Now, number 7, a great starter weapon with 31 kills, we have the nightstick. This weapon might probably break on you, but its breakpoint and exhaustion point are almost identical at level 0, so who's to say? Put one on your belt and go find out. Number 6, with 32 kills and excellent reach, we're looking at the pickaxe. This one will leave you exhausted, and you can probably exhaust yourself one more time before it breaks. Number 5, with a bit more of a jump up to 35 kills here, we find the lead pipe. Again, this one will probably break shortly after it exhausts you, but until then, it looks like it'll serve you pretty well. Number 4 now, with the first appearance of the machete, we have the spear machete, or the machete spear with 39 kills before breaking. So even though we said we'll have no special spear stabs in this simulation, the machete spear doesn't need special treatment to come out on top. Plus, you should only be a little over half exhausted when this thing breaks. And top 3 at level 0, here we go, the Garden Fork clinched the number 3 spot with a comfortable 42 kills before breaking. Its exhaustion point is a little bit higher than this too, which leaves you some wiggle room for stuff like sprinting or fence climbing. Okay, number 2 spot. I'm sure you already predicted this because we've got some smart Zed heads out there in the audience. We have the Machete with its whopping 67 kills before exhaustion. And even at level 0, you should be able to exhaust yourself again before this thing breaks. Excellent level 0 performance. And finally, no surprise here, we have the Katana. You already knew it's good, and you know it's nearly impossible to find, and that's because you should achieve 148 kills here before this one breaks. Again, it's a pretty heavy weapon, so if you're wondering why it doesn't exhaust you, go back to my last video and learn about the Katana effect. Actually, if you are confused about any of the weapons here and you're wondering how did they make it on the list today, go watch that video, because I can almost guarantee you will learn something in there about combat that you didn't know before. Okay, so on that note, I'm sure you have questions about this list or about related topics, so pop down into the comment section, tell me what's on your mind, maybe hit the like button on your way down there. While you're there, take a look at the description. I posted today's test results down there for you, so you can check out any weapon that you like. And in case this helps you with some of your questions, I'll also tell you, here's what I've got brewing for my next video. Now, let's pretend you survived the early game in Project Zomboid, right? You've got some levels in maintenance, you've got some different weapon skills going on, and you're probably wondering, should I be using different weapons at different points in the game? This was a massive question from the audience in my previous video, so I'm working on the answer, but the short version is this. Yes, you should absolutely be using different weapons as you progress through your levels. So in my next video, I'll show you the best weapons to be using at different skill levels, and I'll show you which weapon skills are the most rewarding when you look at all levels from 0 to 10. So subscribe and maybe even ring the bell here if you want to be the first to see those results. Alright, so let's talk about tweaks to the simulator now. First, we have a new simulated component, and that is Panic. Real quick, if you are panicked in melee, you get a damage reduction of 0.1 for each level of Panic, if you have at least 2 levels of Panic. So that sucks. 1 level of Panic is fine though, it will not affect damage. However, if you have any Panic Moodle at all, you will score fewer critical hits. Your crit chance is reduced by 1.3% for each level of Panic that you have. However, if you have less than a 10% crit chance, the game will boost you back up to a minimum 10% crit chance. Next, for some tweaks to existing simulator features, I have to say the Trombonaught of the past was a jerk, and the guy gave me wrong numbers for when weapons should break. Biggest problem, he forgot to take out the crit bonus for stab weapons in those numbers, because we said you cannot stab a crits against a horde in this simulation. So that's been fixed here today for good. Also, there is a small damage bonus that the old simulator did not account for. So if you attack a player in Project Zomboid, you get a 60% damage reduction on your attack. That doesn't matter here, but the same code section will increase your damage by 50% if you attack a zombie. This is just part of how Zomboid handles balancing player versus player as opposed to player versus enemy combat. Together, these changes did not alter the endurance efficiency list in my previous video, so list 1 is good, although some kill counts there changed by 1 or 2 up, so they got better. However, my second list there that included breakage was substantially altered, and it looks a lot like what you see here today. Alright, so if you think this simulator stuff is helpful or interesting, remember, you can help me reach my goal of 1,000 subscribers by September by giving that sub button a firm but gentle nudge in the right direction to help me get there. Now that I've got my simulator all tuned up and ready to go, I hope to catch you with me in the next video where we will look at weapons across all skill levels. So wish me luck before you go as I shoot for 1,000 subscribers, and thanks for watching, Survivor. Till next time, stay safe out there in the end times.